missed that field goal last time.
And they're going to.
This would be a 42-yard field goal attempt where he is 7 for 8 over 40 yards. But instead, Gary Patterson keeps the offense on. 4th down and 4.
4 seconds.
Flag comes in there. And there was some motion.
Prior to the snap,
now what do you do?
Number 69 of the offense. 5-yard remain. 4th down.
That is the freshman Collins, the right tackle, the first true freshman to start on offense under Patterson, and that pressure moment got to him there.
Remember at the start, now I'm putting it, and that's what they're going to do. At the start of this game, we said this is a very well-coached team. They normally don't beat themselves. Guess what? They've had way too many. Oh, he's going to try a 40.
Yeah, it's only a 47-yard field goal. Remember, he's got the win.
That's the win.
And he is 7 of 8.
Jeden Overcrom.
From 40 to 49 yards this year.
And there. Oh.
And this time he's able to
nice.
So it's
all right, game not over yet.
A touchdown lead for Oklahoma.
Hey, Mr. Dealer Man, I know what I want. I know I don't want that one.
Okay, can somebody out there please back me up on this? We have been subjected to this, quite possibly the dumbest commercial you've ever seen, all season long. That's the only reason I'm showing it now. I should probably show this on a game that might have more interest. The only good about that is it just goes to show, get out of my scape here. So chicks with long hair look better than they do with short hair. Okay.
Yeah, I want this one.
You probably noticed the hair. This is because of Cars.com. I've been checking car prices and reading expert and consumer reviews. My confidence has just been coming out of me ever since.
That's right, Mr. Dealer. I've been checking out cars. I know.
Oh, I can't. Please don't show us during college basketball.
ESPN College Football is presented by Cars.com, where confidence comes standard, and in part by Internet Explorer. Welcome to a more beautiful web.
Look at this, the Founders Club. That's a level just below us here at the renovated Amon G. Carter Stadium. $164 million renovation. 6 families put in $15 million a pop. There are 6 suites that you see right there in that middle level that are as nice as you may ever see in any sports facility in our country. Just unbelievable.
Yeah, what do you think that's all from?
Oil.
All right. So be it.
7. Oklahoma football the last 2 weeks.
To me, it all comes down to one thing. I think Gary Patterson is as good a coach as there is in all of college football. Really, at any level. He gets you well prepared. He understands the great mind for defense, and he's going to need that mind right here on this big 3rd down.
Opposite a coach that does nothing but string together 10-win seasons. Bob Stoops and Landry Jones looking to make more history for Oklahoma. Third and 13. Here's Jones. And it was thrown short and incomplete.
Rush free, dropped 8, forced Landry Jones to have to throw it back underneath. That should set up this 3-yard attempt, 42.
Yeah, ball spotted at the 25 for Michael Honeycutt. Made from 34 earlier. He's 2
game over if he makes it.
From this distance.
Not.
Had a pressure kick last week. Just an extra point.
Oh my goodness. What the hell?
TCU is still alive.
That win, Tess, there's no denying that. Did you see that one?
I mean, that was like
I've never seen that one.
In the Fort Worth sky.
I've never seen
it took a hard left turn at I-30. Look at that.
Look at that. Holy smokes.
Here in the Metroplex, he was coming in on Trevon Boykin.
Well, you're going to see the pressure and the protection, which is not bad. But the bigger deal is look at this coverage. There's coverage all over the field, down the field, on the side, nowhere clearly to go with the ball.
2nd and 10. They bring 4. Boykin with time going downfield.
Ooh, nice.
Cam White and TCU is in business. 2nd down. Out of the backfield, and that is Catalan, and he is met again by Tony Jefferson. Is counting down. We are under a minute to play here in Fort Worth as Boykin looks over, trying to get that play call in. Bob Stoops looking for a Big 12 title. 3rd down and 10. And Stoops' defense hold here. Boykin gonna run it inside the 10, inside the 5.
Oh, holding.
Boykin's
Coming back.
But we will check to see if it stands up.
It's going to be a hold. And it was obvious. Stacey McGee beat him clean. And Folks just grabbed him. You can see it right here. Watch Stacey McGee. He's going to get what a good pass rusher does, to the inside off an edge. And Folks just hooks him right there.
He hooked him with that left hand, and it's TCU's best lineman, Blaze Holtz, the senior. So it backs them all the way up to a 3rd and 20, and only 38 seconds left in the game. They bring pressure against the freshman, and he connects with Boyce, but Boyce unable to shake free. So he's down at the 15-yard line, leaving 31 seconds, a timeout, and a 4th down. Get a 1st down at the 2-yard line. 4th and 13. Boykin. Incomplete. He was looking for Josh Boyce, but it goes incomplete as Julian Wilson and Tony Jefferson combined on the coverage.
Tony Jefferson finishes the game the way he started, making plays. Jefferson, he played well all game long. And in a big throw at the end, oh, that's got to be caught. That's through his hands. He's got to make. Boyce has it. Boyce had it. Gary Patterson knew it. He did not come down with it. And that's going to be it.
Hey, how you doing? There is more, but well, we have to do a little bit of post-analysis. This is sort of part of Gen 3.0 from 2.0, which I suppose makes it 2.5. So I've sort of decided to do this off camera, and I sort of assume I'm kind of talking air here. With all due respect to whomever may be watching, what, 1, 2 of you, 0.5 of you, you know, I doubt it. But you may be. And the reason this is done, it comes up later in the actual show part. That describes, you know, all the legalities of YouTube. It's somewhat entertaining. You may want to stay tuned. You'll get some, you know, good sports talk out of it, some Pi Kappa Alpha, House Sweethearts, cool musical tune, and some legal info with regard to YouTube, most importantly. But right now, all we're talking about is post-analysis TCU, Oklahoma. Does Oklahoma get the nod if Kansas State loses? Well, here's my question. Kansas State lost to Baylor. They beat Oklahoma. They also... Wait a minute. Hold up. What am I thinking about here? Kansas State lost to Baylor. They did beat TCU. We've covered TCU a lot. Why? Because we kind of love TCU. TCU was in the Mountain West. But before they got to the Mountain West, they were the #1 defense in total defense for many, many years. So anybody could say, well, that context is sort of... you know, not measurable to nowadays, because if they were in the conference they're in now, that's my point. TCU is going to be the big bad boy in the Big 12 for years to come. Texas, bye-bye, Mac Brown. I mean, it's time to just hang it up. So, you know, against Oklahoma, that was a tight game, nonetheless. But Oklahoma pulls it out. Okay, good for Oklahoma. Again, I'm still a little bit confused why they need Kansas State to lose. Okay, no, now it makes sense, and I'm sure all of you are laughing at me right now. If they win, they have one less loss. So we'll see about Kansas State, Texas later tonight. All right, so the rest of the clips coming up, highlight order. I know I'm talking a bit too much, you know, but I'm just talking to air right now. The illegalities of YouTube necessitate it. It's a necessary evil. Alright, so here we go. Boom to the hay, all you sports fans out there in the tubosphere. Welcome to the One Man Sports Rant. Gen 2.0. I am your host, Will, the alternative ESPN, and every other network that we cover, Sports Thrill, specializing in college football and basketball and all of the other sporting events in their singular nature, such as they may occur. Why such an emphasis on the college sports? I was a linebacker and off guard at the collegiate level, however short-lived, blew up both my ankles, never was able to realize my sports prowess, walked on in both events, but I was a non-traditional student, so I sort of screwed up high school, got my act together, got my butt back into college, and so I had to go that route. And I still suffer from those ankles. But the point is, I did not utilize my, stay in school, by the way, high school-wise, sports abilities to the best of their abilities, because street ball wise, you know, I got a reputation still back where I was playing. So I'm not a spring chicken, but I'm not you know, going through a midlife crisis either. It's the best of both, the maturity with still the physical ability and speed to understand it all, I guess. Alright, so you heard from Accept, the original balls to the wall. It's going to be able to lead into for the rest of college football. By the way, this is the shorty version. This is the post-review show. As introduced by our Pi Kappa Alpha House Sweethearts, U of U chapter, Alpha Tau, giving you props. Alright, so what do I mean by all this? You know, if you saw on the timestamp this video being 10 to 11 minutes thereabouts, this is the post-review show, which is what I mean by those graphics that I included. Much like when you go to a live theater stage show and it's kind of sucking, people with class, you don't walk out on it until intermission. So I understand if I'm talking to only 2 or 5 people, because this show may not be your cup of tea, but it is the post-review. You already saw all the clips, you know, to the sporting event that we were discussing about, and I'm not going to get into it more specifically, because again, this is the baseline show, and I'll get into the legalities as to why that is in a moment. I did used to run a law firm, so to those of you still listening, stick around because you'll learn something about the particulars of YouTube. But for the shows, you know, 15 minutes or longer, it's a totally different intro than what I'm doing right now. All right. So why bother doing a show, you may ask? Because the ship has sailed, in the sense of just trying to piggyback on somebody else's network and going beyond the 5 to 7 minute mark and just trying to put that up as not necessarily your own, but obviously from somebody else. You try to give them credit on YouTube. I'm sure you may have seen this several times, your longer clips, say like beyond the 4 minute mark, where all they're showing is like the channel immediately. That does not cover the legalities of it. What are the legalities I'm discussing? It's a little thing called the DCMA, the Digital Copyright Millennium Act. And the key tenets that we adhere to on the OMSR are, as they were hashed out through WIPO, World Intellectual Property Organization: fair use standard, minimal use, derivatives, and no money exchanged in hands. Of course, that last one's a given, but it's also important. But it's a given here because, as you can see, the OMSR is a pro bono production. We adhere strictly to that. And on that note, as well, all images you see on the OMSR, not procured or produced, 2 minute warning, so I don't go over on time, by the OMSR, were obtained through the public domain. So anybody out there saying, hey, Will, you're kind of using an image that we don't necessarily approve of, fine. Watch my dust. I'll take it down. Excuse me. Readjust it. The only sucky thing about that is you'll lose all the hits when you go to re-upload the same thing, plus the interest wanes on that particular event. But that's not important as opposed to what I just said. Alright. And on that note, this show is copyright to the OMSR. Brief video highlights courtesy to the networks already discussed through Will, the Alternative Sports Pro. The OMSR does not own these video highlights, but does own all the other original content and the overall concept herein, thereof, therefore, most rights reserved. Alright, so on that note, the 2-minute warning, we go back to our musical lead into Accept. The original, to the nth degree, balls to the wall. Perfect theme music for closing out college football. You got to play balls to the wall to get a winning record, to get to a better bowl, or BCS consideration. All right, so pay attention to the end graphic at the end of the show. VAC chart from the state of California DMV. They will throw the book at you. Worst state in the union, or best, toughest, whatever you want to call it. You get a DUI. You can pause it, freeze frame it, see X amount of drinks, your body type, no X amount of activity. All right, thanks for watching. Later days, and only a few more college football plays.